Hi there, Mark here again, and welcome to this unboxing of my new Tamiya Ford Escort Mk2 Rally on the MF-01X chassis. Now, although the Mk2 Escort originally obviously was a rear-wheel drive car, this is a shaft-driven four-wheel drive chassis, as we can see. And looking at the picture on the side here, we can see the motors hanging right over the back. We've got the gearbox, we've got that prop shaft which is going to transfer the drive from the rear to the front, the gearbox in here. Like I say, four-wheel drive. We've got full independent suspension, which is double wishbone, which is probably the best kind that you can get. We've got coilover shocks included, but I think they are just well, pergo sticks. I don't think there's any oil in these dampers, but we'll have a look at that. So let's get the lid off and have a look what we get inside. So straight away we can see that gorgeous body, the Ford Escort Mk2, and as you can see it's pre-painted, and it's also got some smoke applied to the windows. As you can see, it's all just kind of shoved into the box. So if I take the shell out, there are all the parts. You've got this huge bag full of parts in here, so I'll get that open in a sec. You've got your rally block tyres. These are, I think, light buckets, so we can put LEDs in this, I think. Just remove this divider. We've got another black parts tray, plastic parts. And quite a substantial bag here of the parts bags, and looks like some of the gearbox internals and the torque tune motor that comes as standard. And you might just be able to see the prop shaft. We'll get all that open in a minute. We've got the important wibbly wobbly aerial, instructions for the Mk2 Rally body, and looks like the other parts that are unique to this kit, which are the wheels and tyres, go along with that. Some safety information, the good old manual itself showing us how we're going to put this chassis together. This is the generic build guide manual for the MF-01 chassis. So yeah, last but not least, we've got the comprehensive decal or sticker pack. It's rather nice, not too many on this, thank goodness. So I'll get some of those parts out of the bags and we'll have a good look at them. So there we go. There's all the parts. Well, unfortunately I can't get them all in shot because there are more than I expected, I must admit, in that small box. There's a few off camera, I'll bring those in a minute. But first we'll have a look at the body shell, and it is rather a nice reproduction of the Escort Mk2. And anyone that knows me will know that I love my rally cars, especially my Escort, so looking forward to getting this one together. Just a quick look, you've got pre-cut arches, and I don't know if you can see on the front one if it will come across on the camera there, but it isn't really that smooth of a cut. It's a little bit wobbly and there's a very sharp edge on that, so I shall be rubbing those down with some wet and dry paper, as I will the rest of the body when I cut it out. But it's yeah, nicely pre-painted in white with the smoke applied to the screens, and also they've masked off the front headlights and the rear lights, because there are indeed light buckets included. So these are the front light buckets, these are the rears, these are the front spotlight housings, I think, and definitely these are LED ready. You attach them at the back there and you get some fixings for those, but I think you might be able to put LEDs in the spots because there are holes in the centre, but again there's no kind of retaining feature for those, so I think you'd have to glue those in. It looks like those might be 3mm LEDs. These are definitely 5mm LEDs. I will look at putting LEDs in all of these, so I'm really pleased to get these with the kit. And for the front spots you do also get a set of clear lenses, so that's cool. They will screw onto each of those. You get a set of 4 blue wheels. You can see these are not painted, this is just the plastic colour. Not really a bad finish on those, I must admit, but remember that this is an M series chassis, so these wheels and obviously the tyres, hang on a second, very nice. The rally block tyres that you get with it are the smaller M chassis size wheels and tyres. They're not the same as the ones that come on the other 1/10 scale Tamiya stuff, like the TT02 or the TT01, so they are a bit smaller in diameter. Onto the plastic parts, you can see these are your main chassis components. These will screw together like so. So yeah, that's 2 of those. and also this tree of the same colour plastic. Looks like they will also be chassis components. Looks like maybe shock mount, maybe there. I think that might be a servo mount on the end, and various other brackets and spacers. Then you've got your standard 12mm wheel hexes, and these covers look like they might be for the prop shaft drives, I think. Looks like a motor mount. That'll be for setting the pinion, and you've got some more plastic spacers. So these I've just shown, all those chassis components are all the very hard, rigid plastic. So the last of those rigid parts are the red ones. So we've got here, these look like the rear uprights, and a few brackets there. Then you've got the front steering knuckles, so the steering wheel attached there, and these will hold the wheel shafts. Then you've got the front C-hubs, and again there's lots of little hard plastic spacers. So onto these two trees, they're both exactly the same. They're really soft plastic, so obviously these will be resistant to cracking and chipping, hopefully. You've got your body mounts, and you've got these are the shock bodies here, and I think these are parts for the suspension arms. But I won't be using the standard shocks that come with this kit, because I don't like those pogo sticks, as I call them, with no damping whatsoever. So I've gone for these. It's a set of JKRC 55mm alloy shocks. They can be filled with oil, and these are the budget set, and would you believe we're only about £12 including postage. But I have read reviews that these are rather good, so we shall find out. I've also got a lovely set of metal bearings or ball races to replace these horrible bushings that come with the kit, so I won't be using those white plastic bushes. As I said earlier, the kit comes with a torque tune motor. I do like these motors, and I will be fitting this one initially at least, and it comes with a TBL E04 ESC. I've never used one of these before, so it's going to be fun finding out how that goes. Onto this bag with the bevel gears in here, and these are the cases for the differentials and the diff covers. So that's there. You've got your idler gears also in there. You've got a standard plastic servo saver, and this very nice steel prop shaft. That's solid. That's not going to be flexing whatsoever. So onto the parts bag. Part bag A, we've got some sponge in there, sort of sponge tape. We've got some ball end adjusters. You've got your wrench. You've got those metal bevel gears that go inside the differentials, and we've got 2 tubs of Tamiya grease, plus various nuts, bolts, and a few metal shafts. Parts bag B, you've got the other set of bevel gears for the other differential. You've got those plastic bushings that I won't be using. There's another metal shaft which will be for the gears, I should think, and more shafts and screws and washers. Bag C, we've got the metal drive shafts, or those will be, yeah, the metal wheel shafts and drives, which is really nice, prefer those. You've got your springs for the shocks, you've got some brass ball ends and screw pins and so on in there. Oh, and also obviously you've got 4 metal dog bones for the 4-wheel drive, which is nice. The last parts bag is parts bag D. Again, you've got the other wheel drive shafts there and the other dog bones. You've got some really long screw pins. They will be for the suspension. You've got a tiny pinion gear in there. I don't know what number teeth it is, but it's very small. You've got your wheel nuts. You've got some tape, some more foam, the motor plate. You've got Allen key there, more screw pins and brass ball joints and bearings in there. So the last of the parts is this bag. You've got some double-sided tape, and these things here are the stoppers for holding the LEDs into the light buckets, and then you've got your R-clips and the little screws which will be for the bodywork. Quick look at the decals. So this is the main parts of the livery. This blue goes over the rear wing somewhere, and you've got the surround stuff for the windows, and this for the top of the window. We've got number plates. You've got the main racing number 5, your front grille, and then we've got stickers that go over the headlights, and the spotlights to make it look like you know, the glass that goes on the front there. You've got wipers, rear lights, and a few little sponsors, decals and so on. Finally, a quick flick through the manual. As I said, this is generic for all the MF-01X chassis. Yep, it shows there the 3 different lengths that you can build the chassis, and this one is the long wheelbase, which is 239mm from the centre of each of the wheel nuts. So yep, there's building up your diffs, your gearbox there, fitting the servo, the other differential and gearbox, your prop shaft, and fitting all the chassis components together. There's separate instructions for the long, the medium and the short chassis configuration. Your suspension, which it does show you can set up in a high position and a low position for obviously off and on road driving, which is cool. I didn't know you could do that with this kit. Fitting the front and rear axles, putting your shocks on. Strangely, the motor goes on right towards the end of the build. That's not usual for one of these Tamiya builds. Putting your electronics on, and basically, yeah, putting your wheels and tyres on and fitting your body, and that's your lot. So, I'm really looking forward to building this one, and it's going to be fun as always, I know. I hope you join me in the build. All I can say is thanks for following along, thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye.